Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to look at. The dust has finally settled, and yeah, we know that Ezekiel Elliott is in New England. Dalvin Cook is with the Jets. So let's see how people are drafting these running backs now that we have had a decent amount of time to actually evaluate these situations. Obviously, you have other instances of running backs needing to be moved in rankings, such as like Tony Pollard going up, right? So let's go ahead. Let's hop into a fantasy football draft, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be getting in the Puppy 3 draft. This draft has been live for 1 day, and there have been 50,000 entrants in it for the first day. This is the $5 buy-in $1 million prize pool tournament on Underdog. A first place prize, $200,000. We actually had a member of the flock win the Puppy tournament last season. So let's go ahead and let's get in here, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, I'm able to win it this year, and it's not one of y'all. Now, I understand maybe that sounds a little rude, and I get it, but come on, I could use it. I could use it. Now, we are going to be here at pick 3. We're right next to Kickers Lives Matter, and let me know if you are in this live chat with us, ladies and gentlemen. Please let me know. Let me know. Okay. Now, BZ says, another day, another Flock Fantasy live stream. Yes, sir. You better believe it. You know, we're going to stream every single day until 2024. But we got Faux Show out here, pick 7 in this draft. We got Don't Tread on Me in here at pick 9. We got Kuba out here, pick 11. Thomas in here at pick 2. We got Cam in here at pick 12. Hell yes. And Elig says, hey, Mason, I ran 5 miles in 38 minutes today. Oh, dear God. Can everybody please spam the chat? Congrats, Elig. I mean, that is awesome, my man. I mean, I hopefully one day can get my game up to 5 miles in 38 minutes. How long is it? Actually, I could probably do that. Never mind. Still very impressive nonetheless. No, nobody's an elite level athlete like your boy, or at least most people aren't. But Jefferson Chase off the board. Previous to this, I was going with an elite level wide receiver here in round 1. Now that we have Ramondre Stevenson as well as Breece Hall no longer as options in round 3, and Tony Pollard not going to make it down to pick 22, now I'm going to be pivoting to Christian McCaffrey at pick 3 in these drafts. Now we are going to be pivoting to CMC. I understand this is our first time taking Christian McCaffrey pick 3 all offseason now, but I just think that the draft board's changed enough where it makes sense to do so. Now, Alex is curious in your opinion, why would the Jets bring in Dalvin if they activated Breece today, knowing that he's most likely good to go week 1? Do they not have trust? The thing is, what's the opportunity cost for them to bring in Dalvin Cook, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it is going to be pretty much just an added bonus. It's not like it's taking anything away from the team. Aaron Rodgers went through and said, hey, yeah, you can cut my salary. Cut my salary, go bring in Dalvin. If Aaron Rodgers is telling the Jets that, it's not really up to them going, all right, well, do we want to accept you cutting your salary so we can add in Dalvin Cook for pretty much nothing? No, they're just going to add him in, right? I mean, the New York Jets, the NFL, they don't care about fantasy football as we do. But Hayden coming out says, 12-team PPR traded pick 41, 56, 89 for pick 11. What are your thoughts? If it is a redraft format where you only start up to 3 wide receivers, that's beautiful, my man. That is beautiful. Now, of course, real quick, just in case y'all don't know what we are doing, we are drafting on Underdog Fantasy every single day on this live stream. These are best ball drafts, so no time commitment at all during the season. It's how I drafted 700 teams and won $150,000 last year. And we are going to be drafting here every single day until 2024. So if you want to get in a draft with us, you can find the link in the live chat in the description in the comment section. Promo code FLOCK. They're going to match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. Plus, this is the perfect tournament for y'all to get in if you want to practice for your main fantasy football draft this next year. $5 buy-in, $200,000 prize pool. And also with promo code FLOCK, you are going to be getting my 2023 fantasy football rankings, a free trial to flockfantasy.com, available in damn near every state. You can see the states here. Y'all know this is also the same place with all the player props that y'all see in videos. My favorite player prop right now is going to be Jordan Love for fewer than 13.5 interceptions. We're going to go Chris Olave. And I worked my butt off to get y'all this, so please take advantage. y'all are going to get a free Jalen Hurts line more than less than half a passing yard for week 1, only with promo code FLOCK. Like I said, I worked my butt off to get y'all that, so please make sure you're taking advantage of it. Now, Nick says, sorry to break it to y'all, but started out a puppy today. Tyreek, Devontae Adams, T. Higgins show. Oh my gosh. Yeah, if y'all don't know, Nick is the guy who won the puppy tournament last year. That is nasty, my man. How the hell are y'all getting Devontae Adams falling that far? I never see Adams fall that far. That's beautiful, my man. I am very jealous. And sadly, it looks like we may not be getting an elite level quarterback here, ladies and gentlemen, because this team at 1 decides to take Josh Allen to pair up with Justin Jefferson. I think we can assume that Kickers Lives Matter decides to go Jalen Hurts to pair up with Devonta Smith, unless he goes T. Higgins. And then at that point, Joe Burrow. No, he does go Jalen Hurts. So we are going to get T. Higgins instead here, pick 27. Now, I was really hoping we were going to get either Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen on the way back around in round 3. Now, it's not going to be the end of the world because we can still take Joe Burrow or Justin Fields in round 4. I mean, Burrow's in play because we just took T. Higgins. Justin Fields in play because, hell, I mean, he has a ton of rushing upside this next season. And now that team at 4 that stacked Kelsey and Mahomes deciding to go through and take Lamar Jackson at pick 28. Now, on Underdog, obviously, you're going to see some people go with a bully quarterback approach, and I think you are fine to take a couple elite level quarterbacks in certain spots. Like if you really wanted to say take Patrick Mahomes in round 2 and then follow that up with like Justin Fields or Joe Burrow in round 5, I'm honestly kind of going to be fine with it, just specifically because these are some massive large field best ball tournaments. But to go Kelsey, Mahomes, Lamar out the gate and to have 0 running backs, 0 wide receivers through the first 3 rounds, I don't know. I can't get behind that. I think you're going to have a very hard time making that work later on. Okay. OG says, Nick's a beast. Just retire already, man. I mean, yes. Just retired. You really have to be winning the puppy tournament back-to-back, my man. Is that something we have to do? And today I was actually planning on getting a big dog draft going for y'all. That's the tournament where we won 100,000 last year on Underdog. But that freaking it's already closed. Like what the hell? Last year and the year prior, that tournament was open for like a month. That thing filled in a week. I drafted like only 3 or 4 teams in the big dog tournament this year. So the probability that we go back-to-back in the big dog tournament, highly unlikely, ladies and gentlemen. Highly unlikely. The Rum Daddy asking Nick, the future host of the vlog. Yeah, if Nick goes back-to-back with puppy tournaments, Nick is going to have to do these live streams for y'all going forward. I don't know if I'd be able to make an excuse on why I would need to continue to do it. But Josh Jacobs going off the board 33. Ramondre Stevenson before Josh Jacobs is something I can't get behind. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson there, pick 32 with the addition of Ezekiel Elliott. I will draft legitimately 0 Ramondre Stevenson if this is his price tag. I just updated my rankings on flockfantasy.com. So if y'all want to see our updated 2023 rankings, you can find them there. We have our top 150 as well as our tiers as well. And we have Ramondre Stevenson in round 4 of those rankings. We have Ramondre Stevenson in round 4. To see him at 32 does seem pretty damn aggressive. And of course, real quick, while y'all are on flockfantasy.com, if you're going to check out those rankings, please make sure you put your Underdog username on your account page. And that's also going to immediately get you an extra $10 in your Underdog account. Yes, you better believe your boy is grinding his butt off to get y'all this free money, essentially, on Underdog. And then if you're not already on flockfantasy.com, link in the live chat, link in the description, link in the comment section. Promo code FLOCK will get you 30% off any subscription. And with the Mother Flocker package of promo code FLOCK, yours truly will go ahead and make a podcast breaking down your fantasy football team in 2023. Now, Chevy Guy coming out says, 12-team app PBR, we have Allen, Chase, Ridley, Jacobs, Madison, Pacheco, Hawkinson. And then on the bench, we have Gabe Davis, JSN, Rashad Penny, Treylon Burks, Jared Goff. What are your thoughts? I really like the team overall. I mean, we have elite upside at quarterback, running back, as well as wide receiver. The only thing I would say is you're probably in a situation where you're better off to go through and, if possible, and I mean, if possible, just drop Jared Goff and go get another running back off the waiver wire that you feel has access to a high ceiling, even if that's going to be someone that you cut at the very beginning of the year, even if that's someone like Leonard Fournette, right? Just when we have Josh Allen, we're going to start Allen every single week, regardless of matchup. I think the advantage that you have in taking Josh Allen in your regular redraft league is you're not having to roster a backup quarterback, and instead you can use that extra raw spot on an RB. So I drop Jared Goff, pick up another running back with upside. Nick says, Mason's the flock daddy, not on that level yet. Trending that way, my man. Trending that way. Now. Master Nate asking if we won the pick'em line with Trey Lance for more passing yards than projected on Underdog last week. I wish I did, but I also took a fewer than line on Zamir White, so I actually lost, my man. I lost. Now, we're going to take Mike Williams, 46, and we are going to take whatever elite level quarterback makes it back around to us. Now, this team took Justin Fields, which is very interesting, to pair Justin Fields with Josh Allen. They also go TJ Hawkinson there, 49. So, yeah, we'll either take Joe Burrow to pair up with T. Higgins, or we'll go Justin Herbert to pair up with Mike Williams. Now, Jack from the 2 says, one-man keeper, 10-team league, second round Kelsey, third round Allen, or fifth round DK. 6-point passing touchdown. You're going to want to go ahead. You are going to want to keep Travis Kelsey in round 2, especially in a 10-team league. Now, I understand, yeah, it's not great keeping him at that price tag. I mean, you would like to just get him at a little bit more of a discount. But 9 times out of 10, when you're making your keeper decisions this next season, you want to be going with the guy that just is the best straight up. In reality, the difference between a second round and a third round pick in a keeper format is going to be pretty damn slim, where if you were to go through and just keep the best guy, you'd probably be happy with that more times than not, my friend. Okay. Let's move this over. We just hit 300 likes on this live stream. Thank you so much for everybody going down there and dropping a like on the stream. And we have Anthony coming out, says, in a PPR Dynasty League, I was offered Cup for Taylor and my future first. Oh, you definitely want Taylor in the future first, my friend. Please don't be paying that much for Cup. Now, Ethan says, we got Chase, Barkley, Pollard in a puppy. How? Pollard goes to the beginning of the second. Saquon goes to the 1-2 turn. Jamar Chase obviously only going inside the top 3 picks. How do y'all get these values? I need to stop drafting with y'all in the live stream. I need to start just drafting public lobby more. FF Addict says, hey Mason, thanks again for the daily dose of drafts. I found that one of the easiest stacks to get when I had the late pick is Deshaun Watson, Elijah Moore. I noticed you don't really build that way. Why? I mean, generally, I'm taking a lot of Deshaun Watson. Like, let me go ahead and pull up my exposures on Underdog to give you a sense of how much Deshaun Watson I'm drafting. Now, to be fair, I don't take a lot of Elijah Moore. And the reason being is I just generally don't like the wide receivers in that price range. Yeah, so right now I have 11% Deshaun Watson. But if we go ahead and we look at wide receivers that are being drafted alongside Elijah Moore right now, I mean, it seems like a fair price point where it's like Brandon Cooks, Zay Flowers, Treylon Burks, Sky Moore, Courtland Sutton. I'm completely fine if you want to rank Elijah Moore there for your wide receivers. Now, my issue is I just can't be taking Elijah Moore over guys like Rachaad White, James Cook, Alvin Kamara, Isaiah Pacheco, Dalvin Cook. I'm just generally taking a running back there if I can, my friend. Now, next question coming out from Datfu says, hey Mason, I have the 101 in a 10-team full PPR redraft format where we can start at the 4 wide receivers, and I'm now agonizing on who to pick between Jefferson or CMC. Help me out. If it was going to be a 10-team league where you only started 2 wide receivers and 1 flex, I would be fine if you wanted to go Christian McCaffrey. But in reality, I still think that you have to go Justin Jefferson, knowing that you have to start 3 wide receivers. And just the range of outcomes that you have with Jefferson is freaking nuts, right? I mean, he can be a wide receiver that has 2,000 yards this next season, while at the same time, it's also possible for his floor to be minimum a top 5 wide receiver. Like if Justin Jefferson was not a wide receiver 1 from a points per game perspective this next season, I would assume the only way that happens was with either an injury to Cousins or Jefferson. Anthony says he missed our response. My man, what we said is you definitely want to go ahead and you want to keep Jonathan Taylor and the future first. Like Cooper Kupp pushing 30 years old. You don't want to be trading an elite level running back plus to go get him. Javonte Williams goes, so we're in a fortunate position where we're able to grab Dameon Pierce here at the 6-7 turn. It's another range where generally if I can grab one of these running backs like Dobbins or Dameon Pierce, I'm taking a running back here at the 6-7 turn more times than not. And yeah, I'm completely fine with these tight ends on the way back around, right? I mean, I would actually probably prefer Kyle Pitts over Darren Waller still, so we'll still get the tight end that we want here at 75. If we want to go tight end, of course, maybe we have a wide receiver making it to us that we like. But Arthur coming out says, 8-team league. We have Jalen Hurts, CMC, CeeDee Lamb, Bijan Robinson. I'm assuming that's who you meant to say. Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin. Do we trade Lamb for A.J. Brown? If we have Jalen Hurts, yes, I probably would. Full transparency, I do have Lamb ranked ahead of A.J. Brown. But with that being said, they're in the same tier for me, so I would break the tiebreaker in favor of getting the stack with Hurts. Or CeeDee Lamb, Amari, Javonte for JT and Brown. So essentially, we're just adding in Amari Cooper, Javonte Williams for Jonathan Taylor. I would actually do the second deal specifically because with this being a league where... Sorry, just thinking 1 second. We're still going to take Pitts here. I know Pitts is falling a considerable amount, but I don't know. Round 7 Kyle Pitts is someone that I like. We'll talk about this a little bit more later on. But yeah, going back to it being an 8-team league, 8-team league, depth's not going to matter. The only thing that's going to matter is having the highest ceiling you possibly can get. Jonathan Taylor is going to have that high ceiling. Now, Darren Waller falling a considerable amount in this draft. Like I said, completely understand why someone would want to go ahead and would want to take Darren Waller over Kyle Pitts. I mean, Darren Waller right now, is getting great reports out of New York Giants training camp. But with this being said, Kyle Pitts was inarguably the best tight end prospect of all time. You look at his athleticism. You look at his production. You look at the fact that he was drafted higher than any other tight end in NFL history. You combine this with the fact that arguably he had the best tight end rookie season of all time. Kyle Pitts went out there and Kyle Pitts had more receiving yards as a rookie tight end than anybody not named Mike Ditka. And he did it 50 years ago. So in the last 50 years, Kyle Pitts was the best rookie tight end of all time. Now you sprinkle on the fact that he is still incredibly young. The man's younger than Zay Flowers. The situation's not great where the passing volume isn't really projected to be there with Kyle Pitts. But you could say the same thing with Drake London, who goes to the middle of round 4. Now, our next one coming out from Rob says, I think this is my favorite draft yet. We picked 8. We went Bijan, Chubb, DK. Okay, yeah, if you get Lamar round 4, it's just going to look great. JSN, Hollywood, Flowers, Pacheco, Charbonnet, Gino, Jacoby, Tyler. Yeah, I love that, my man. I love that. I mean, getting Lamar Jackson round 4 is pretty much just the cheat code that will set you up for so much success later on. But I love it. Christopher says, do you have Dynasty rankings on your website? Yes, on flockfantasy.com. I also have all my Dynasty Superflex rankings and my Dynasty One Quarterback rankings. And not only are my Dynasty rankings there, but also are the Dynasty rankings of like all your favorite content creators. I mean, we have so many people over there on flockfantasy.com. So like, you wouldn't just get access to my rankings. You know, you get access to a bunch of people's rankings. Now we are 4 likes away from hitting 400 likes on this live stream. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have not done so already, please go down there, drop a like on this live stream, help us get to 400. And to celebrate, we are going to be cracking open a sparkling water per usual. We'll be diluting it with some other water. And we are going to get this going. Jacob says, are the 2023 rankings tab applicable to best ball? No. So on flockfantasy.com, you'll see that they're the 2023 rankings tab, which is for your regular 2023 fantasy football draft. But there's also another tab that is best ball, which has my best ball rankings. Yeah. So, I mean, you can see a little bit of everything there, my friend. Now let's swing this back around. And like we said, generally we are looking at RB in this range, but it looks like maybe that's not really going to be an option for us with all these running backs already off the board. Now, this team that's picking only has one wide receiver so far being Terry McLaurin. They go Evan Ingram. Yeah, that team is just lost. We're going to go ahead. We will take Treylon Burks here, pick 94. I mean, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Justin says, 18 PBR, any adjustments? We have Kelsey, Chubb, Mahomes, and an 8-team league. Having the advantage of getting Kelsey and Mahomes is absurd. Devonta Smith, Gibbs, Ridley, Kenneth Walker. I want to illustrate this as the perfect example of how you want to adjust to your 8-team format. In your 8-team league, you will be able to find running back values. You will be able to find wide receiver values. They will be easy to come by. So this is where you want to go out of your way. This is where you want to get the elite level quarterback like Mahomes, get the elite level tight end, because you're not sitting there crying about starting, Nick Chubb, Devonta Smith, Jahmyr Gibbs, Calvin Ridley, Kenneth Walker, right? And then on the bench, you still have Sanders, McLaurin, Ayuk, Pittman, Swift, Brian Robinson. I really like it, of course, if we can make a 2-for-1 deal where we possibly package together, say, Calvin Ridley as well as Terry McLaurin, and you go out there and get a wide receiver like Chris Olave that maybe you're just a little more excited about. In that 8-team league, we're always trying to make 2-for-1 deals and 3-for-1 deals and get the best player in return. Now, I haven't drafted a lot of him, to be honest, but this is a $5 buy-in, $200,000 first place prize tournament on Underdog, while at the same time, we took Chris Olave. So we are in a position where we've already made a bet on this New Orleans Saints passing offense being better than people expect this next season. So we can double down on said bet by taking Michael Thomas. I'm not doing this very often, but where I think it makes sense to do this will be on teams where you have Chris Olave, you need a wide receiver, and Michael Thomas falls past ADP. So I'm not going to do this in the majority of drafts, but this is the part where it makes sense to pull the trigger. Okay. Jacob asking if we'll be updating our best ball rankings soon. Yes, sir, we will. So spent all day today updating our 2023 fantasy football rankings on flockfantasy.com. I will be updating my best ball rankings soon as well. I figured more people were using the 2023 rankings, so that was going to be more important to update for y'all immediately. Okay, Slick Rick asking when the new running back rankings video will be uploaded on YouTube. Yeah, so right after I updated the rankings on flockfantasy.com this morning, I recorded a new video of our top 30 running back rankings, and that drops on YouTube tomorrow morning, hopefully. The editor's working on it now. It's either going to be tomorrow morning, midday tomorrow, or tomorrow night. It will be tomorrow, my friend. So make sure y'all are subscribed. Make sure you go down there, drop a like on this live stream, where now we are 1 like away from 500 likes on the stream. Y'all are blowing this up. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's move this over. And, oh my gosh, it's Ronix says Terrace Marshall injury. I didn't even see that, my friend. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Now, it's not going to make a big impact in your regular fantasy football draft, but for best ball drafts, if Terrace Marshall is officially down, I haven't drafted Terrace Marshall once, to be fully transparent with y'all, but it will all of a sudden make Jonathan Mingo a little bit more enticing, and that you would just assume Jonathan Mingo is going to be seeing more snaps and running more routes. And Kadarius Toney falls to 109. This is the earliest we've seen. The latest I've seen him go. Okay. Yeah, he's carded off, but it doesn't look like he's like that serious carding off. Yeah, he just took a front. Yeah, he took a front ride seat. So I don't think you have to be that worried about Terrace Marshall. Obviously, it doesn't really impact your regular fantasy football draft. Now let's swing this back around. We have Zach Charbonnet 114. Interesting that Anthony Richardson was named the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts today, and here he is falling down to 116 in this draft. Now, Rich Rez says, got the 104 in a 12-team PPR format with a Superflex and 2 regular flexes. We have Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, and Justin Jefferson going first. Who should we be trying to go with, and what should our strategy be after? I think if Hurts and Allen are going to go with Jefferson, you have to slam Mahomes, right? You slam Mahomes, get a sense of what the rest of your league's doing at quarterback there at the end of round 1, the beginning of round 2. Determine if you need to go with another quarterback in round 2, or if you can pivot back over to going with the more balanced approach and either going running back or wide receiver. Or maybe if you go Mahomes round 4 and then a bunch of quarterbacks go at the end of the first and the beginning of the second, and all of a sudden you say get Travis Kelce falling to you, you could start off with a Mahomes-Kelce stack in a Superflex draft, which would be very exciting. Now, Ego Swan says, 14-team league, I have Fields, Chubb, Stevenson, Waddle, Adams, Boyd, Goddard, and Michael Mayer. What are your thoughts? Fields, top 14 quarterback. Chubb, Stevenson, both top 14 RBs. Waddle, Adams, both top 14 wide receivers. Goddard, top 14 tight ends. So you are just great across the board. I mean, there's really nothing we can say there, my friend. I wish we could. Now, I think we're going to be pushing up Jamal Williams here just a bit, considering the updated report that we have with Miller spraining his knee. And I understand he's supposed to be good to go week 1, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, come on, you're a 3rd-round rookie. You don't have, a ton of expectations going into year 1. And all of a sudden, you're going to be missing some crucial playing time to get you acclimated into this offense. I do think we need to be bumping up Jamal Williams for that reason. We've already made this bet on this New Orleans Saints offense as well with Olave, Michael Thomas. So we're going to go all in on the Saints here. We're going to make a wild bet that maybe Derek Carr can turn the New Orleans Saints into one of the better offenses in the NFL this next season. And yes, Teresa out in New Orleans says, this is your Saints team, Mason. Yes, this is it. So the Saints are good. This is the team that could possibly win us $200,000. Now, running back, we have CMC, Damian Pierce, Jamal Williams. Wide receiver, we have Olave, Higgins, Mike Williams, Treylon Burks, Michael Thomas, Tyler Boyd. Tight end, we have Kyle Pitts. And then the teams that we are betting on, we're betting on the Saints with Olave, Michael Thomas, Jamal Williams, and most likely Derek Carr later on. And we're betting on the Bengals with Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd. Okay. Let's move this over. So Rodgers, Goff go 126, 127. We got them 132, 133 in a draft yesterday. Tyler says, almost had an insane start in the puppy. Pick 10, grabbed Bijan, Brown, Andrews, and was one pick away from getting the Lamar. Still, that's an incredible team that not many people are going to be able to match, my man. There are not going to be too many rosters that have Bijan Robinson, A.J. Brown, Mark Andrews all on them. That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, Versaire says, hey, Mason, finally got around to being a mother flocker. Yes, sir. I almost made the podcast breaking down your team earlier today. We ran out of time, so I'm going to get to your team breaking it down tomorrow, my friend. Excited for you to see my team on Discord. Thoughts on the double running back start with the running back changes? Yes, sir. I'm excited to look into that. I literally was just looking at your team, I believe, 2 hours ago, maybe 3 hours ago at this point. But yes, I'll be happy to get in that tomorrow, my man. Now, let's move this over. And real quick, just in case y'all don't know, we are drafting every single day on this live stream. Every single day. We are in these Underdog Fantasy drafts. They're best balls, so no time commitment during the year. Not meant to replace your main fantasy football league, just meant to be some added in fun on the side. I drafted 700 teams, won $150,000 on Underdog last season. And if you want to draft with us in one of these tournaments, Josh Allen passing yards, more than less than one passing yard for week 1, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I see everybody in the chat saying that we are frozen. Dear God, hopefully we are okay. We are going to go ahead and we are going to take... We're going to take Tyler Algier. There's some wide receivers that we're fine making it back around to us. The team after us only has 2 running backs, right? If they only have 2 running backs, I mean, we do want to go ahead and lock in at least one of these guys while we still can. Whereas we're pretty comfortable with the wide receiver that's going to make it back around. Nolan asking if we're doing a Bulldog today. My man, you can take my money tomorrow. I would have done a Bulldog today, but to be honest with you, we titled the live stream a $260 buy, and I thought we were actually going to get a big dog going today. And then I saw earlier that the big dog filled. It was like, okay, the big dog was open for literally a month last year. It filled in like a week this season. And I only dropped like 3 or 4 teams in it. So a little frustrating on my end. I wish we would have been able to draft more teams there. Now, the year 2 tight end in Tennessee is definitely in play for us if we don't get Derek Carr, but we're most likely just going to go ahead and take Derek Carr, right? Pair him up with Chris Olave, pair him up with Michael Thomas. We have Jamal Williams as well. Jamal and Derek Carr don't really correlate that well together because obviously Jamal's not the receiving down back here, but we're going to take Derek Carr nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen. We will go Derek Carr. And Versaire says, message was too short, not in relation to my draft. Thoughts on taking running back in the first and second rounds now with all the changes to running back the past week? I'm not going to mind it if you have access to those elite level running backs still that are unchanged, right? Like, I think that if you want to go ahead and you want to take Bijan Robinson, Tony Pollard, say Bijan Robinson, Derrick Henry, say Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley in the first and second round, and now it's going to be more compelling just given the fact that you're less excited about drafting guys like Ramondre or Breece Hall later on. Now, with that being said, I mean, you can kind of see that we make that adjustment, my friend. I mean, I'm sure that you've noticed all offseason, I've taken the elite level wide receivers over CMC. But now we have taken Christian McCaffrey, pick 3 in this draft. Let's move this down. Zach says, love everything you do, my friend. I'm pushing 100 teams on Underdog now. I look forward to this every night. Keep grinding, bro. You'll get to 2,000 for sure. 200,000 for sure. No, thank you so much, my man. Thank you for hanging out with us pretty much every freaking night. I really do appreciate it. And I'm going to ask y'all a favor as if I don't already ask y'all for a million favors every single live stream. Since we were having the Wi-Fi issues, I just looked at our live stream stats. It looks like a bunch of people left whenever we froze. So if you could go down there and drop a like on this live stream, it would really help us out. If you go down there and drop a like, it would really help us out. Okay. Now, Brock Purdy off the board. So we have a big run on QB. We personally are probably not going to really be taking any quarterbacks here, right? Just considering the fact that we've already had Burrow, Derek Carr. I mean, we spent a 5th and a 13th round pick on quarterback. I mean, this is a super large field tournament, so it's not a spot where we are too excited to take 3 of them, but it is what it is. Now, Professor X says 11th pick in a best ball format. We have A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Amari Cooper, Deshaun Watson, Christian Watson, Lawrence Sanders, Cook, Swift, Frymuth, Brian Robinson, Myers, Daniel Jones to start. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about this a little bit. I like it now that we are getting the news with James Cook of him looking like the official starting running back there. So if all of a sudden we get clarity that you do have James Cook as the starting running back in Buffalo and you think you get more usable weeks out of him with that kind of build now, I think it's probably a little bit better than it was. Cam says, thoughts on Team 12. Let me go ahead and check that out right after we make our selection here, my friend. This team's a wild card that's drafting next to us. You have literally no idea what they're going to do. They go Tyler Conklin, so we're going to take Adam Thielen. Now, to be honest with you, I don't necessarily think that Adam Thielen's completely changed based off the news that we have with the Terrace Marshall potential injury, but, I mean, it can be definitely used as a tiebreaker, right? We use it as a tiebreaker at the minimum. Okay. Now, let's see. Hopefully Miller goes off the board because we're really not looking to take Miller at this point, right? I mean, we already have Carr, Jamal Williams, Chris Olave, Michael Thomas. I'm not looking to have 5 Saints on my team. There is a point of diminishing returns. There's a point that we no longer want these guys. Say the same thing with Taysom, kind of. Everybody asking if we're going to get in a Bulldog 2 or another puppy. I'm going to get in another puppy tournament after this, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be getting in another $5 puppy tournament. Okay. Trying to sit here and think about what we want to be doing at 171. I don't necessarily think we have a super easy decision. Miller going 169 definitely helps us out. Hyatt going as well. So we're going to take Deonta Foreman. I mean, right now it doesn't look great for Foreman, where Roschon Johnson looked really good with his preseason debut. And at the same time, obviously, Khalil Herbert had the massive receiving touchdown. But nonetheless, this is still an ambiguous backfield. You don't really know exactly what's going to happen. Deonta Foreman could see some usable weeks. And most importantly, hook 'em horns. Let's get our guy. Now, running back, we have CMC, Dameon Pierce, Jamal Williams, Tyler Algier, Deonta Foreman. Wide receiver, we have Olave, Higgins, Mike Williams, Burks, Michael Thomas, Tyler Boyd, Adam Thielen. Quarterback, we have Joe Burrow double stacked with T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. We have Derek Carr double stacked with Michael Thomas, Chris Olave. And we are most likely going to take 2 tight ends here at the end of this draft. And we'll figure out what the last pick will be. But in Scott coming out with a donation. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So let's move this down. Just Brud says, Mason, where's the merch? Okay, yeah, we obviously I know this is a joke, but quick side note, I will do my best to try to get y'all some more merch some point this season. I don't know when that point would be. It takes way more time than you would assume. And it's a little frustrating. Whenever I sell merch, the last thing I'm ever going to do is sell like a t-shirt for 40 bucks, right? So generally, like when we've sold merch in the past, it's been like for 25 bucks or we just do it for free giveaway. So it's not like, if you look at the cost of us doing it, it's not like we're making any money off of it. So it's more like a give back thing with merch. But yeah, I need to go ahead and I need to be better about getting y'all merch. And I tried one time way back in 2020. I know we're getting off topic. I'll be quick. But I tried doing one of like the automatic like merch stores that you'll see with like a bunch of YouTubers just have like printed on things you can tell like with Springtree or something linked to their YouTube channel. I did that and literally canceled it in a day because I ordered the merch myself and it was really bad quality. And I was like, okay, never mind. Yeah, we're not doing this anymore. So the only time I'm doing merch now is if I can actually handle it all on my end and guarantee it's a high quality. Now, In Scott says, thoughts on Diggs to the 107 in the 12-team PPR format where we start 3 wide receivers. I'm fine with it. I mean, I've taken a lot of Diggs there as well. I'd still probably go Bijan. Now, I'm sorry, Cam. Let's go ahead and let's check out Cam's team at pick 12. They went Chubb Barkley out the gate, followed up with Judy, DJ Moore. To be honest, if you're going to reach on DJ Moore here at the 3-4 turn, I think you're doing it more so for a unique build. And if we are going to do so, I'd want to take a Justin Fields here as well. So instead of saying go DJ Moore here at pick 37 and then Lawrence at 61, not stacking with anybody else, I would rather swap Jerry Jeudy for Justin Fields. I would rather swap Trevor Lawrence for Hollywood Brown. In my mind, on a team where you take DJ Moore, it makes a lot more sense to have Hollywood Brown and Justin Fields rather than Jerry Jeudy, Trevor Lawrence. We have Zay Flowers, 84, David Njoku, 108, Kadarius Toney, 109. I'm completely fine with this Toney price point. Yeah, especially seeing that we have Kyler Murray here, 157. The only thing I'd say is we probably would have pivoted over and made that different play at the 3-4 turn and taking Hollywood. And you get my point. You get my point. We're going to go ahead. We are going to take Hunter Henry. I think Henry has to be moving up considering the fact that you do have the injury to Mike Gesicki. So, yeah, let's go Henry 190. And we'll see what makes it back around to us. Shakir off the board, 192. Okay, Shakir goes 192. This is an interesting spot. Now, the only position I'm very comfortable saying that we still need to draft is going to be tight end. I definitely want to grab another tight end when we only have Kyle Pitts, Hunter Henry. Now, in terms of that last spot, I think we're more so going to be a little bit dependent on what makes it back around to us. Can y'all spam the chat? Would you rather have Hayden Hurst or Zach Ertz? Everybody spam the chat. Let me know what you want. Hayden Hurst or Zach Ertz. In Scott asking if Underdog is in Ontario. Huge fantasy base here. Yeah, no, I believe DK like lobbied, and now y'all only have DK in FanDuel, unless I'm mistaken. Zach says, bird is the word. I'll gladly rock the flag. Love to hear it, my man. Love to hear it. Looks like most people are saying Hayden Hurst. Yeah, pretty much everybody was saying Hayden Hurst. I thought we were going to get way more support here for Zach Ertz. I was definitely leaning Hayden Hurst because we took Adam Thielen, right? But let's go Hayden Hurst, and let's hop into our next fantasy football draft, ladies and gentlemen. Going to be another puppy tournament. This is going to be the Puppy 3, $5 buy-in, $1 million prize pool, $200,000 for first place. Like I said, I would recommend this for anybody that's new to Underdog Fantasy. This is going to be the perfect tournament for you, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to be picking at the end of round 1 here. We're going to be at pick 11. Who? We'll make it work. We'll make it work. Okay. Let me know if you were in this draft with us. And yes, I'm sorry Underdog's not in Ontario, but this is where Underdog's available, ladies and gentlemen. Underdog is available everywhere in Canada but Ontario. And Underdog is available in every state that's on that map right there, ladies and gentlemen. So pretty much everywhere, except Ontario, which I do apologize for. Okay. Now we got Brett out here at pick 6. We got Nick out here at pick 2 in another draft. We got Tyler in here at pick 3. We got 49ers collection 4 in another draft. 109. Kill a gorilla in this draft with us. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. And Mason the Bot says, did Tony Pollard move up in the rankings? Yes, he did. Yes, Tony Pollard is up in the rankings now, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all know I was very hesitant in drafting Ramondre Stevenson and Tony Pollard based off the worry that we had of Dalvin Cook, Leonard Fournette, Kareem Hunt, Ezekiel Elliott, and possibly even Jonathan Taylor going to one of their backfields. But now I don't think we have to be as worried about that with Tony Pollard because he dodges 2 of those bullets, right? I mean, he dodges Ezekiel Elliott. He dodges Dalvin Cook. So inherently, Tony Pollard is a little bit less at risk than he was. And I'm completely fine drafting Tony Pollard now. Okay. Edian says Pollard should go in the first now. He still has a couple other bullets to dodge, my man. He still has a few other ones to dodge. But if he does, then maybe we can consider it. We can. The Rum Daddy says, Mason, do you ever do AMA streams? Yeah, so during the season, I am live every single night and answering every fantasy football question. Of course, if y'all ask me a random question, I'll answer it. But no, I mean, I am not too interesting, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you, the most interesting thing I could possibly talk about will be fantasy football. Fantasy football is my entire life, if y'all have not noticed by now. It was my entire life before it was a job, and it will be my entire life for the rest of my life. At least hopefully. Now, Margaret says, Cook hurts Hall more than Zeke hurts Stevenson. I would agree with this. Based off Zeke being in a very limited role where there's no possibility that Ezekiel Elliott's the running back 1 in New England, right? That's just never going to happen. Where there is a small possibility that Dalvin Cook is the running back 1 for the New York Jets at the beginning of the season. So I understand that thought process. And we're going to take Lamb here. I understand it's not going to be the most unique selection, right? But with that being said, I still don't necessarily care. We can make it unique by our pick 14. Okay, I think we're actually going to go ahead and we're going to take Saquon Barkley here, 14. In general, in these massive underdog tournaments, you do want a unique start out the gate where we do not sacrifice upside, right? Where we do not sacrifice upside. Austin asking if we go live for start sit questions. Yes, I'm live. I'm going to be live literally every single day until 2024, ladies and gentlemen. Last year, I live streamed for over 200 days in a row, not missing a single day. Even when I lost my voice from our 24-hour live stream, I still showed up and streamed nonetheless. So I'll be live every single day to answer every single question you'll have and try to do the best that I can to help. Okay. Sean says, hey, Mason, do you like Miami's backfield more now that Zeke and Cook just signed contracts? Yes, I do as well. Now, I will say in your regular redraft format, I'm still not interested in Raheem Mostert. I'm still not interested in Jeff Wilson, just considering their severely capped ceiling. I think that they're more appealing in these underdog best ball tournaments now, because a big difference between your regular redraft format, right, is if you draft Raheem Mostert as a running back 4 and he turns out to be a running back 3, it doesn't help you at all, right? You need someone to have access to a true elite level ceiling in your regular redraft league. However, if you draft Raheem Mostert as a running back 4, running back 5 in an underdog draft, and he turns out to be the running back 30 from a points per game perspective, then that's a pick that actually makes a difference and moves the needle for you dependent on when his spike weeks come. So yeah, I think you can draft Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert with more excitement than previously in underdog drafts. Devon Achane in a full PPR format is going to be the only back that I'm even looking at in a regular redraft league, however, my friend. But of course, real quick, if y'all want to get into one of these underdog drafts with us, you know, I'm doing this every single night on the live stream, as we've already said. Not missed a day in over 100 days, not missing a day anytime soon. And these are our tournaments Best ball, so no time commitment at all during the season. Side draft to 700 teams, 150,000 last year. If you want to get into a draft with us, promo code FLOCKS going to match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to 100. Plus, you'll get our 2023 fantasy football rankings. You get a free trial to flockfantasy.com where you can find our 2023 fantasy football draft guide. And on top of this, I worked my butt off to get y'all a free pick'em line for week 1. Josh Allen for more than less than half a passing yard. I worked my butt off to get y'all that. It's going to be for everybody who's used promo code FLOCK, regardless of if that's you signing up 2 weeks from now or you signing up with promo code FLOCK 2 years ago. You will have access to that line, so please make sure you're taking advantage. Okay. David says, why do some people see a new big dog, but I don't? Is it because they have something against the Canucks? I don't know, my man. Let me go ahead and look at my app and see. I heard people were complaining with the weekly winners that it wasn't showing up on Android the first few days that they launched. I'm still seeing the new Bulldog 2, my friend. It's not a new big dog, but it's a new Bulldog 2. I don't know if you're just mistaken, but Metal Alarm says, would you trade Lamb and Kenneth Walker for Bijan and Amari? We start 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex. We have Adams, Gibbs, Deshaun also on the squad. I honestly probably would. Specifically in a league where you only start up the 3 wide receivers, yeah, let's go get Bijan Robinson. It's A-Rod says, how's my build? Allen, Carr, Aaron Jones, Kamara, James Cook, Kupp, Ridley, Scary Terry, Sutton, Michael Thomas, Dalton Kincaid, Juwan Johnson, Noah Fant. I like it. Now, the interesting case is when you're looking at Noah Fant, can he be usable this next season, right? Obviously, you're not drafting him in your regular redraft league, but specifically in these underdog tournaments, can Noah Fant be someone that you look at? Now, I've been hesitant because with Noah Fant, even though I believe in the talent, he's going up against JSN, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet. So I don't know. Now, John says 4 wisdom teeth out earlier. I need 4 drafts tonight. Oh my, man. I'm still delaying getting my wisdom teeth out. For years, they've been telling me I have to. And for years, they've been telling me it's going to cause me an issue. And I'm pushing that as long as I can, my man. Okay. Now let's move this over. Ramondre off 33. Great for us. I wasn't looking at Ramondre. We're just going to go ahead and take Lamar. I understand that you are probably tired of us taking Lamar Jackson at the 3-4 turn, but Lamar Jackson put up the best quarterback season of all time. Of all time. That's his peak. In terms of fantasy football, of course. Do I think Gibbs can put up the best running back fantasy football season of all time? No way in hell. None of these guys in this range are. Now, that team goes DJ Moore, Justin Fields with a unique combo at this turn. We are going to go ahead and take Jahmyr Gibbs. With Gibbs, you're seeing his ADP at pick 33. Obviously looked great in the preseason, right? And this is why we go with CeeDee Lamb round 1 over Nick Chubb. So we have the flexibility where we can go Barkley, Lamar, Gibbs immediately after. It's A-Rod says, does a Fant pick feel better knowing it was last pick? Yeah, no, I understand that it was the last pick, my man. I'm not saying it's bad. It was just more so very interested in Noah Fant and how that's going to end up playing out this next season. I'm not saying it's bad in the slightest, my friend. Okay. It's C-Dog coming out. It says, Slow Pubby's still drafting. Quarterback, we have Jalen Hurts. Running back, we have Najee Javante. Wide receiver, we have A.J. Brown, Amari Cooper, Mike Evans. Tight end, we have Hawkinson. Opinions on the team. So we can assume round 1, we went A.J. Brown. Round 2, we went Jalen Hurts. Generally, I'm not in love with reaching on these stacks, but I will say now it's going to be a little bit more unique than it was previously, so I'm going to be fine with it just for the uniqueness perspective. Amari Cooper, round 3. Round 4, we went Najee Harris. Round 5, Hawkinson. Round 6, Evans. Round 7, Javon. Yeah, I like the team. By no means am I sitting out here and saying, oh, it's the best team I've ever seen, but I think it's a strong build and a solid roster construction top to bottom. Okay. Now let's move this over. People saying they can't find the Josh Allen prop. The Josh Allen prop's not going to show up until week 1, my friend. So how Underdog's going to have to work with that is they're waiting until week 1 gets here, and then they're going to run their system. I talked to them closely about this. Like I said, I worked my butt off to get everybody who signed up with promo code FLOCK this free line. So then they're going to manually run it through their system to give everybody who signed up with promo code FLOCK that free Josh Allen line for more than less than half a passing yard against the Jets on Monday night, week 1. So it's not going to show up for you today, but they're going to go through and they're going to run it right before, I would think they're going to run it Sunday, right before the game, which is Monday night. That way, everybody has it there that's signed up previous to that, my friend. Now, Solid Jenkins says, just drafted this puppy team. We have Bijan, Etienne, Swift, Waddle, DK, JSN, Zay Jones, Ingram, Laporta, Lawrence, and Geno at quarterback. Should I be optimistic? Okay, so round 1, Bijan. Round 2, Waddle. Round 3, Metcalf. Round 4, Etienne. Round 5, JSN. Round 6, Swift? No, round 6, Lawrence. Round 7, Swift. I mean, I think it's a fine team. I think it's well balanced up the bottom. To be honest with you, I don't necessarily think that it's like the most insane team I've ever seen, right? It's not like one of these teams that people are sending us to where they pair up like Devontae Adams and Cooper Kupp out the gate in these underdog drafts. I definitely think it's a strong team, though. Now, Sherry coming out says, hey, it's an 18 PPR format. I traded picks 15 and 18 for number 1, and we have the first and second overall. Oh, my gosh. In an 18-team league, this is exactly what you're looking for. Exactly what you're looking for. And if this is an 8-team format where you can only start up to 3 wide receivers, honestly, I'm going to go Jefferson and Kelsey. I know that's crazy to say, but if it's an 8-team format, you're going to be able to find running backs. You're going to be able to find wide receivers later on. You want to go ahead and you want to grab that elite level tight end. Now, Terry McLaurin made it all the way down to Rex Thunder, a member of the flock here at Big 55. We need to look at this guy's team because this team is absurd. This team's absurd. It's C-Dog. Thank you so much, my man. I really appreciate you. Now, JSN off 57. King of FQC goes Deontay Johnson. So we'll take Brandon Ayuk here, pick 59. I actually think this is about where Brandon Ayuk should go. I don't really love his ADP where he currently goes at the beginning of the 5th. Darren Waller off the board as well. I think we're going to pair up George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk. Make that one consolidated bet on this San Francisco 49ers passing offense. There are going to be a lot of Deebo Samuel teams with how ADP lines up. I don't think there are going to be a lot of Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle teams, however. Okay. But Teague says, what are your thoughts on this rival pick? Mark Andrews plus 25 yards versus Tyler Lockett. I was looking at this thinking it's interesting. It wasn't nearly as nice as those other ones that we previously found, right? Like, remember, we were looking at, we were getting Devontae Adams versus Jamar Chase plus 50 receiving yards, and that was an easy chase call. We were getting Nick Chubb plus half a rushing touchdown versus Jacobs. That was an easy Chubb call. Now, I don't necessarily know if there are any super easy rivals picks that we have at this moment. If y'all see otherwise, please let me know. So the one that he is looking at on Underdog right now is going to be the... Actually, I don't mind the Pollard one now that we actually have some clarity with that situation. If you wanted to get an extra 50 receiving yards, rushing yards on Tony Pollard versus Jacobs. Probably still don't like that, though. I do like the Swift versus Damian Harris, giving Swift more rushing yards. Yeah, to be honest with you, I feel like Mark Andrews versus Tyler Lockett receiving yards, it kind of feels like a stay away for me. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. Maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, we were just looking at those easy dubs with the rivals earlier on. Now I feel like it's much harder. Now, Rico coming out says, been a while, and today's video is the best data-driven and analytical approach to running back breakouts I've seen yet. Outstanding content, as always, brother. No, thank you so much. If y'all don't know, Rico is a long-time member of the flock. Thank you for stopping by, my man. Really do appreciate you. And Vadim says, stay away from the Andrews Lockett line as well. Yeah, I mean, in my mind, it's just too close to be interested in, right? Like if I'm going to take a player prop that I like for the entire, a pick'em line that I like for the entire season on Underdog, I kind of want it to be a no-brainer. Like I feel like Jordan Love, fewer than 13.5 interceptions is kind of a no-brainer. Were there only 4 quarterbacks in the NFL last year to have higher than 13.5 interceptions? I don't think the median projection should be Jordan Love's a top 3 quarterback in the NFL in interceptions this next season. So like that seems like something that's worth getting my attention and going right for. Whereas I don't necessarily feel that the same way with like Andrews and Lockett. Okay. Now Pittman makes it out as 77. Dobbins 79. Interesting. Let's move this over. So quarterback, we have Lamar. Running back, we have Barkley, Gibbs. Wide receiver, we have Lamb, Ayuk. Tight end, we have Kittle. So 9 times out of 10, people who take Lamar there at the 3-4 turn, they're looking at Zay Flowers here at the 7-8 turn, right? Nine times out of 10, they're looking at Zay Flowers. Now, I would not take Zay Flowers at 83, to be honest with you, but possibly if he makes it on the way back around. Yeah, so we're going to go David Montgomery. I know we're going to be pairing him up with Jahmyr Gibbs. I understand. We generally don't like taking running backs from the same backfield. This does project to be a top 3 offensive line in the NFL. However, this is also a team that put up 1 million running back points last season at the same time. So I like both picks in their standalone value. We're getting Gibbs 5 picks past ADP. We're getting Montgomery 8 picks past ADP as well. And now we will take Zay Flowers to pair up with Lamar Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, let's go ahead and quarterback. We have Lamar paired up with Flowers. Running back, we have Barkley, Gibbs, Montgomery. Wide receiver, we have Lamb, Ayuk, Zay Flowers. Tight end, we have Kittle. So I really like this team. I like it. Now, Sean says, what should I target in rounds 18 through 24 of Dynasty Superflex drafts? My man, way too broad there. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to help you out. I wish I could, but you're generally going to be on your own. Vital got Kittle at pick 70 earlier this week. Beautiful. Obviously, Kittle a little bit banged up. I mean, the day one that report came out, yeah, there were some pretty strong values on George Kittle. Okay, Burks goes 91. Burks continuing to fall. Last draft, I think we got Burks 93, right? Watson goes 92. Evan Ingram 93. I have noticed Elijah Moore falling down boards just a little bit. We did have the injury scare with Elijah Moore, but he sounds like he is primarily good to go. Okay, Tony 96. Last draft, Tony fell to 109. And like I said, I'll take Kadarius Toney if he falls past pick 100. I think Kadarius Toney, like if he was going to make it to us at the 9-10 turn, that's about the appropriate risk, him going as the wide receiver 5. And Blastov Rip says 3 keepers, JT Kupp, Devontae Adams, Josh Allen, or Najee Harris. I think we're going to go Kupp, Adams. Hopefully we get a little bit more clarity on the Jonathan Taylor situation, but we still probably go Taylor. I think we go Kupp, Adams, Taylor. If Taylor looks like he gets shakier up until the point that you have to make the decision, I would pivot to Josh Allen as the backup. But plan A is Taylor. Now let's smooth this over. Khalil Herbert off the board at 104. Michael Thomas goes 105. So Dak Prescott in play for us at 110, right? I mean, we did take CeeDee Lamb. Charbonnet goes, so we're just going to go ahead. We will take Antonio Gibson here, get the falling value. And we're either going to go Dylan, Dak, or Freiermuth here with this next pick. Actually, I would probably go Jameson over Freiermuth now that we have possible concerns with the Freiermuth usage. It's not going to be the end of the world. I'm still taking Pat Frybeath in round 10. Y'all know I really liked him beforehand, so it's going to break my heart if he doesn't do well this next season. But, yeah, let's take it this way. Daniel Jones goes 108. And Austin coming out says 2 wide receivers in a flex. We just traded Higgins, Hall, and JSN for Olave, Cam Akers, Brandon Cooks. Higgins to Olave, slight upgrade. Hall to Akers, downgrade. JSN to Brandon Cooks, downgrade. Team, we have Watson, Barkley, Ramondre. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of it, my friend. Mainly because I'm not a massive fan of Cam Akers. I would have rather kept the Higgins, Hall, and JSN side. But full transparency, like I said, I mean, I am pretty biased in favor of JSN. Is someone I definitely want to root for. I mean, I interviewed the guy at the NFL draft. Super nice to us, but... Austin says other way around for the trade, my bad. Oh, okay. If it was the other way around, hell yes. Love the deal, my man. Other way around, yes. I like it. Okay. Now, wide receiver, we have Lamb, Ayuk, Zay Flowers. Running back, we have Barkley, Gibbs, Montgomery, Antonio Gibson. Quarterback, we have Zay Flowers paired up with, we have Lamar paired up with Zay Flowers. We have Dak Prescott paired up with CeeDee Lamb. And we also have George Kittle at tight end as well. Now, OC's playing says $500 buy-in league. So we got a high stakes format here. 10-team PPR format, 3 wide receivers, 3 flex, no tight end. Okay, you slam wide receivers in this format. And that's the exact question. Should I slam wide receivers through the first 5 to 6 rounds, try to hit a Hail Mary with the late round running backs? Yes, I wouldn't mind if you have a running back that you like making it to us in late round 1, say like Bijan Robinson. You go Bijan Robinson, and then we spend the next 5-6 rounds taking wide receivers. Like, I still think it's interesting to go with the hero RB build, but definitely like rounds 3 through 7, you essentially just want to be taking wide receiver. Now, Sam says, if CMC and Jefferson are taken in the first 2 picks and I pick 3, who would you take them in a 10-team PPR format for round 2 and 3? Okay, so I think we'd most likely be looking at going ahead and taking Jamar Chase there at pick 3. Obviously, with this being a 10-team format, then on the way back around at the 2-3 turn, I probably would be looking to go RB if we could. The running backs that would hopefully be in play for us there. If we could be taking a swing on someone like Jonathan Taylor, that'd be interesting. And honestly, if it's a 10-team league where you only have 1 flex spot, instead of going 2 running backs, I may actually pivot over and go with an elite level quarterback as well. Okay. Now, take Bigsby off the board, 120. So generally, we want wide receivers making it to us, right? Like, if wide receivers don't, it's not the end of the world. I'm not going to sit here and cry about it, but we want some wide receivers if we can get them on the way back around. And ladies and gentlemen, we are 90 likes away from hitting 1,000 likes on this live stream. If y'all have not done so already, and you can help us out by going down there and dropping a like, that'd be awesome. We are going to be getting another draft going after this. So, of course, if you want to get in our next draft, we are drafting on Underdog Fantasy every single day. Link in the live chat, link in the description, link in the comment section. Promo code FLOCK. They're going to match first deposit dollar for dollar up to 100. Plus, you're going to get our 2023 fantasy football rankings. Get a free trial to flockfantasy.com where you can find our 2023 fantasy football draft guide. Same spot where you have all the pick'em lines that y'all see in the videos. And some of my favorite pick'em lines right now are going to be Jordan Love for fewer than 13.5 interceptions and DeAndre Swift for more rushing yards than Damian Harris. Okay, now let's swing this back around. Brian coming out with the donation. Thank you, my man. Thank you. Okay, P. Ryan goes 123, McKinnon 124. I haven't taken a lot of McKinnon here. Generally, when I do, it's on a team where we took Mahomes. Everybody asking if we're going to do a Bulldog. Honestly, no. We got to save our money a little bit. We'll probably opt in a Bulldog tomorrow. The thing is, if I'm going to justify it to myself that I'm going to be spending that amount of money on a high-stakes draft, I need to be doing it from a content perspective. So I need to hype it up through the course of the day, right? I need to have it in the title of the live stream, $500 buy-in league, leading up to that stream starting. Okay. This team on the clock, they have the double stack with Herbert, Eckler, Keenan here. What are they doing? They're taking this down to the very last second. They go Nico Collins. We are going to go ahead and take Darnell Mooney here, 131. Not going to sit here and act like we're super excited about taking Darnell Mooney, right? I mean, kind of is what it is. We just know we want a wide receiver, and the team that's after us took Justin Fields, DJ Moore, so they would definitely be taking Darnell Mooney if he made it to them at 132. So if we want a wide receiver, now is about the time where we have to take him. Now, Casey coming out says, 10-team PPR Dynasty start 9. Gibbs for Breece Hall. What are your thoughts? If you looked at my rankings on flockfantasy.com before Dalvin Cook signed, I had Jahmyr Gibbs ranked over Breece Hall. It was a decision that was really hard to make, to be honest with you. But whenever we updated our Dynasty rankings, I want to say we did that last week on flockfantasy.com. I even tweeted it out because it was so weird to look at that situation. But I had to move Jahmyr Gibbs up to my running back 2 in Dynasty rankings, like overall. Like now we have 2 rookies, Bijan Robinson, our running back 1 overall in Dynasty, and Jahmyr Gibbs, our running back 2 overall in Dynasty. Just because if you look at the rest of the landscape, CMC is going into his age it's like 7th season in the NFL. Jonathan Taylor is a massive question mark. Now Breece Hall, coming off a torn ACL, is being drafted behind Jahmyr Gibbs, who's a rookie. So I don't know. I'm going to go Jahmyr Gibbs over Breece Hall, definitely now that you add in Dalvin Cook. And Kyle says, got the 101, going Jefferson in a 10-team league. 210, are we going to go JT or Jacobs? Or did I say screw it and go wide receiver with Olave and Smith? Pollard isn't expected to make it to me. Generally, if it's a 10-team league where you can only start up to 3 wide receivers, I'm not wanting to do that. I would actually probably rather go Jefferson round 1 and then double tap the running back position. Take Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor at the 2-3 turn. Now, full transparency. Obviously, there is a ton of risk while doing so. But if you're in a 10-team league, there's going to be 1 winner. There are going to be 9 losers. You, on average, have a 10% chance of winning your fantasy football league. So how I generally approach things is I try to think of the ceiling. I try to go down that road. So if your best running backs are Taylor, Josh Jacobs, and it's a 10-team league where you only start 3 wide receivers and you started Justin Jefferson, I wouldn't mind at all going Taylor and Jacobs. It's something that has a lot of upside, right? If you're trying to win your league, that's what I'm doing. But Brian coming out again, thank you, says, in the 109 in a 16-team league where we start 1 running back, 2 wide receivers, double flex, what's your strategy? Been smashing the flex, 109 wide receiver, 2 running backs, then a rest wide receiver with Lawrence Watson as a late round quarterback earlier in a 16-team league. Tight ends usually, I would say in general in a 16-team format, specifically this one, I'm going to be punting tight end. Like, I'll probably punt tight ends, and then if we can, slam wide receivers, especially if you only have to start 1 running back, my friend. If you only have to start 1 running back, just draft Jamal Williams at the very end. Have him through the first 3 weeks, and hopefully we can play the waiver wire earlier on. But if you can get a super stable core of 4 wide receivers that we're really comfortable starting through the course of the entire season, and then all we have to do is find 1 waiver wire running back after starting Jamal through the first 3 weeks. And obviously that's just an example. I mean, you could pivot over and go with another running back. You don't have to take Jamal Williams. That is what we're looking for. But Victor coming out says, just use your promo code on Underdog and started drafting. Thank you for the guide. No, thank you so much, my man, for supporting the channel. Like I've said a million times, there's no better way to support this channel than getting on Underdog Fantasy and hopping into some of these drafts with us. So thank you so much, my man. I really do appreciate you. Now, Purdy goes 152. Generally, we're wanting to see these quarterbacks get drafted, right? I mean, whenever we have Lamar and Dak Prescott, I'm not going to be taking another quarterback in this draft. Okay. Russ off the board, 153. Now, thank you so much, Brian, for being a member of the flock. Really appreciate it. And just in case y'all are thinking like, okay, why the hell does Mason talk so much about adjusting to your league format? How does he even know how we want to be adjusting? This is what I've spent pretty much all of my fantasy football career doing. I mean, I started playing fantasy football back, I believe, in maybe 2009-ish, around that time. But when I got die hard into fantasy football was 2014 when I played in my first Dynasty fantasy football league, and immediately I joined 20 random leagues. Back then, you'd have to like network through GroupMe's to find people to join leagues with. It was a pain in the ass, but I loved it more than anything you could ever imagine. And playing in 20 plus Dynasty leagues since 2014, and obviously leaving some, joining some new ones. I wish they were all the same leagues the entire time. Obviously, that's not the reality, but you just have so much experience in going through and playing in pretty much every format that you could possibly imagine in. The only format that I have not played in, and I honestly don't plan on anytime soon, is IDP. Outside of that, every small nuance of a change that you possibly can think of, we pretty much have played in. Okay, let's move this down. Now we are going to go Donovan Peoples-Jones, 158. I don't exactly know what we should be doing here, if I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, Donovan Peoples-Jones had some random spike weeks last year, and he was useful. Of course, by no means does that mean that's going to happen again this next season. I definitely want to be taking 3 tight ends with this team. I probably only want to be taking 5 RBs. So it's like an interesting spot, right? Like by no means am I sitting here and saying, oh yeah, Donovan Peoples-Jones is the pick that we have to make. He has to be this. I don't know. I mean, you know what? Now we're looking at this. The play was Ezekiel Elliott. I thought Ezekiel Elliott was already off the draft board. We should have gone ahead and taken Ezekiel Elliott 158. Yeah, that is 100% my fault. That is my bad, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Irv Smith Jr. goes 168. Now, let's see. We're still going to be, I don't know. We're essentially able to do anything but quarterback. Running back with Barkley, Gibbs, Montgomery, Gibson, Warren. Actually, I don't even think we can go another running back guy. I don't know if we can go another RB, ladies and gentlemen, especially if we want to take 3 tight ends here. I'm most likely going to be taking 2 more wide receivers and 2 more tight ends. Versaire says, I'm actually sitting at 18% Zeke. I mean, you have to be really excited about that, my man. If you're 18% Ezekiel Elliott, that is a good spot to be in. And yeah, Zeke went way too late in this draft, ladies and gentlemen. I want to be on record and say Zeke is a phenomenal value here. And we are 1 like away from hitting 1,000 likes on this live stream. Thank you so much, everybody. If you want to be our 1,000th like on the stream, now's your opportunity. Go down there and hit that like button. Now, Sam Howell goes 176. Knicks, 14% Zeke. Mark Woods, 21% Zeke. Let me see how much Zeke I have. I don't think I have that much. I wish I did. Juwan Johnson, 177. Jake Ferguson looks like he is going to be the starting tight end for the Dallas Cowboys this next season. Obviously, he's in play for us considering the fact that we took Dak Prescott here. Cody says, my ESPN 12-team PPR $100 50 buy-in league drafts the 27th. I'm the 112. Mind looking at it afterwards. Appreciate you helping me win the last 2 years. 100%, my man. Like we were saying earlier on, and this is for everybody, and I know you have been a member of the flock for so damn long now, my man, but it's by far and away the easiest way for me to do this. But if you sign up to flockfantasy.com with promo code FLOCK in the Mother Flocker package, I will go through and make an entire podcast breaking down your fantasy football team. Plus, you'll get all our rankings, you get all the premium content, everything, essentially. So already help you out a ton for that draft, and happy to go through and make that podcast breaking down your team, my friend. Okay, we're going to go Isaiah Hodgins, 179. Essentially get the wide receiver that's the falling knife here. Falls 12 picks past ADP. What's funny is I only have 6% Ezekiel Elliott, but I have $1,300 buy-ins for Ezekiel Elliott. So I guess I took him in $1,000 draft, because if I'm sorting by buy-in, He's like a top 10 invested running back for me. So I guess we kind of get lucky on that front. And we'll go ahead and we'll take Jake Ferguson as our second tight end, right? To pair him up with Dak Prescott, have him with George Kittle. We're still going to be taking a third tight end as well, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. But let me show off this board, and we are going to go ahead and hop into another underdog draft right now. So wide receiver, we have Lamb, Brandon Ayuk, Zay Flowers, Darnell Mooney, Adam Thielen, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Isaiah Hodgins. Running back, we have Barkley, Gibbs, Montgomery, Antonio Gibson, Jalen Warren. Quarterback, we have Lamar paired up with Flowers. Dak Prescott double stacked with CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson. And tight end, we have George Kittle. So it's a fine team. I mean, we're a little light wide receiver. We're going to take one more wide receiver and one more tight end. But let's go ahead and let's get into another puppy tournament. $5 buy-in, $1 million prize pool, $200,000 for first place. Like I said, this is the perfect draft for you to get in if you're trying to have some extra fun in your fantasy football season and prepare for your main fantasy football draft that you care most about, ladies and gentlemen. Plus, if you're new to Underdog, this is the perfect draft to get in. Please don't be going and hopping in like a $500 draft on Underdog. That's not going to be for you if you were new to Underdog. This $5 tournament is going to be for you. Okay. Now, we're at pick 5, so I really like pick 5. We're going to get one of, obviously not Jefferson Chase, but we're going to get one of CMC, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, and we're going to be just fine with that, and I think that will give us a lot of flexibility through the rest of this draft. We got Brett out here with us at pick 6. Hopefully, I can snipe you a couple times. We got Versaire out here at pick 12. Love to see it. We got Jeremy, pick 11. Kennedy Curse out here at pick 8. We got Nick in another draft next to Prado. I'm glad I'm not in that draft, to be honest. Tyler, pick 3 again. And Scorp says pick 5 may be his favorite this year. I mean, yeah, I guess pick 5, since you're in the middle of the draft, you are able to just kind of let the value fall to you, right? While at the same time, I mean, you're in a position where you do get that elite level player out the gate. It's not like you're picking at the turn where you're going to be sitting here on your hands waiting for almost, 10 minutes between picks, it seems. But Blake says 27% Ezekiel Elliott in 90 Underdog drafts. Strategies for the weekly winner. To be honest with you, my friend, I am not going to have any concrete strategy for you for the weekly winner tournament. What I think maybe is the optimal strategy, nobody else has agreed with so far, and I am probably wrong. For this reason, I have not done many weekly winners drafts, and I'm going to be waiting until next year where we have a season of data under our belt where I'm able to dive into that data. I'm able to come up with a concrete plan, a concrete draft strategy that's proven to work, and then I'm going to be slamming them. Like I said, last year, we had better results than pretty much anybody you would ever find in these regular Underdog fantasy drafts. If you look at our large portfolio of teams, how many we advanced, we won multiple tournaments, we got 16th place in Best Ball Mania. We've proven ourselves in these tournaments, so I'm fine going and hopping into a ton of them. In the weekly winners, I just simply haven't. I could be an idiot, and I could be completely wrong. Now, Aaron coming out says, my man, am I crazy? Thinking of going Kelsey at the 105 in a league. Oh, no, this would be perfect. In a 10-team league where you can only start up to 3 wide receivers, Kelsey is the pick, my man. Kelsey is 100% the selection there. But Dan says, so hard to get in during these primetime hours, LOL. I missed the late night drafts like last year. Will you be doing any late night streams this preseason? Maybe we can go a little bit later if y'all want. Everybody in the live chat, please spam. What would be the perfect time for us to go live and do it Eastern time zone? Say we are going to live stream for 2 hours. Give me an East Coast time that you would want me to go live. Hashling Slasher says, do the projections at the end of Underdog drafts matter? I don't think so. Okay, so 6 p.m. Eastern, so 5 p.m. my time. That's an hour before we do now. Same time, 9 p.m. So 9 p.m. would be 8 p.m. my time. So like right when we end these live streams. $8 p.m., so 7 p.m. our time, 8 p.m. our time, 8 p.m. our time. Seems like most people want us to push it back a little bit. I actually kind of want to push it up a little bit. How about this? I will push it back 30 minutes for everybody. Let's try pushing it back to 6:30. So 7:30 Eastern. Now, in the other draft, we took Darius Slayton to pair up with Isaiah Hodgins, and we just took Hayden Hurst tight end 3. Okay. Cody Jones says, remember when Mason drafted at 5 a.m. because he had a beach trip? Only time I was able to get in. Yeah, so if y'all don't, if y'all weren't here a couple months ago, like I said, we have live streamed these drafts 109 days in a row. So you better believe I'm not going to ruin a streak like that for anything. So we had a trip to the lake where we were spending the night. We were going for essentially the entire day. And I woke up at like 5 in the morning, did a live stream. And so we could keep the streak alive. We did. Now, we're going to go Jalen Waddle here, pick 20, right? I mean, it does kind of suck that we probably aren't going to get an elite level quarterback on the way back around. Now, there's always a possibility that we are able to get Josh Allen. Even if that doesn't happen, I mean, hell, at the end of the day, we could be in a spot where we get Justin Fields at pick 53. If we really want to make sure that we get an elite level quarterback, we could go Mike Williams at pick 44 and at least guarantee ourselves Justin Herbert at 53. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, of course, if you have not done so already, go down there, drop a like on this live stream. Subscribe to the channel if you play fantasy football. And if you want to get in one of these drafts with us, which we're doing every single day on this live stream, Underdog Fantasy, link in the live chat, link in the description, link in the comment section. Promo code FLOCK, match first deposit, dollar for dollar up to 100. Plus, we'll get our 2023 fantasy football rankings, a free trial to flockfantasy.com, where you can find our 2023 fantasy football draft guide. And please make sure you are taking advantage of this because I worked my butt off to get it for y'all. Everybody who signs up with promo code FLOCK before Sunday week 1 is, and it doesn't matter if you signed up 2 years ago with promo code FLOCK. I got it for you. Don't worry. We're locked in. You're going to have a free Josh Allen pick'em line, more than less than half a passing yard. So please make sure you are taking advantage of that, ladies and gentlemen. And speaking of the devil, we are going to get Josh Allen here, 29. So we are going to lock ourselves in an elite level quarterback that we were talking about previously, which is something I'm trying to do every time I can. Every time I can. Okay. Peter says, make a wheel to spin with 32 teams, and whatever team you land on, become a diehard fan. That would be a really good YouTube video. That is like such a good idea for a YouTube video. It would be like a season-long video, you know, like the beginning of it is, I don't have a team that I root for. And you end up becoming a fan of like the Bucks or the Cardinals or whatever. And you have to sweat it out every single week and make it like a vlog style for 17 weeks. Once fantasy football dies off for us, my man, I will have to steal that idea from you. We will have to. Vadim says you should root for whatever team Trey Lance. You're acting like I'm not already planning on that, my man. You send Lance to the Bucks. I'm buying a Lance Bucks jersey tomorrow, and I'm not joking about that. Hopefully he doesn't go to the Bucks because the Bucks jerseys are kind of ugly. And I'm saying this as someone who lived in Tampa last year. Hopefully he goes to... What team could Trey Lance be traded to that has nice jerseys? Ooh, send him to the Pats. Ooh. Would like that. Would like that. Now, yeah, Scorp says strange draft room so far. Yeah, you see a lot of weird things here. You have Jahmyr Gibbs going 26. You have Josh Jacobs 25. I am not seeing Ramondre Stevenson fall. This is Ramondre Stevenson had an ADP of 31 before Ezekiel Elliott signed with New England. And it seems like every single draft so far, I mean, Ramondre Stevenson's gone to like pick 33. This is what it is. Raiders Lance jersey would go hard. I'd be down for that. I'd be down for that. Vikings jerseys would be cool. I'd be down for a Vikings Lance jersey. Yeah. I don't know. Jackson says Ridley's talent is undeniable, but I don't know if he's making it through 17 games. I thought I was going to be all in on Calvin Ridley this year. I really did. I mean, I thought I was going to be the guy screaming like, oh, no, y'all forgot. Trust me. You have to believe me on this one. Calvin Ridley's elite. Calvin Ridley's going to be great. But I thought that was going to be me. I never in a million years expected Calvin Ridley to be going at the 2-3 turn. I thought Calvin Ridley would be a round 5 selection. I thought I would take Calvin Ridley in every single draft and roll the dice on his upside this next season. Whereas in reality, I never take Calvin Ridley early round 3 because I can never take Calvin Ridley over someone like Josh Allen. I just can't do it. I don't know. Now, Fields goes 41. We're completely fine with that whenever we have Josh Allen here, right? Completely fine with that. That team got a Kelsey Adams start, and then they take Andrews. I hate when teams go bully tight end. I just don't see the purpose. I don't see the reason. Fergal says, if you win Best Ball Mania, you got to do a world tour and meet your international fans. If we win $3 million in Underdog's Best Ball Mania tournament this next year, I don't want to say we're doing I'm not guaranteeing we're doing a world tour to meet people, but I will definitely host the largest flock fantasy meetup we've ever had. We will ball out. We will have a massive party. If I win $3 million in Best Ball Mania this year on Underdog, the next flock meetup is going to be freaking wild. And Blake says, how would you approach the first 3 to 5 rounds of a 10-team, 2 wide receiver, 2 running back, 1 flex league? You want to be slamming running backs early and hopefully getting an elite level tight end, assuming that you have to start a tight end, that is. If we could go like, say, out the gate, Travis Kelce, and then in round 2, Nick Chubb. Around 3, followed up with like Mark Andrews. I'm sorry, no, assuming we had Kelce. Round 3, followed up with Jalen Hurts. Round 4, followed up Joe Mixon. I would love that, my friend. I would love that. Malachi asking if Underdog doesn't let me join leagues in Vegas. No, I mean, come on. Vegas has their lobbies. They have their casinos there, so no. Underdog not available in Nevada. You can see everywhere where Underdog is available on this map. Not available in Nevada, Washington, Louisiana, or Michigan. Available pretty much everywhere else, though. Okay. Let's move this. Rain for Sleep says, a lot of mocks. I'm stuck in that decision. Ridley versus Amari. Yeah, I mean, it's close. But here, real quick, just because she's making a special appearance, I'll let y'all see her in case somebody hasn't already. Come here. You can say hi to everybody. I know. You want to say hi? Say hi to everybody. Look, tell them hi. Say, sign up to Underdog, promo code FLOCK so Mason can keep drafting and feeding me food. All right, good girl. All right, best advertisement I can give. Now, Kenneth Walker off the board, 52. Y'all know Kenneth Walker, Hawkinson are generally guys that we're looking at in this range. I'm lucky enough we get Hopkins making into us. I mean, in general, I'm not taking Christian Kirk at this price point. I mean, if you look at the 2 wide receivers set for the Jacksonville Jaguars, I mean, it actually looked like Zay Jones and Calvin Ridley, and Christian Kirk was just relegated to slot duties. So, I mean, my most drafted wide receiver so far in these Underdog drafts, at least for Jacksonville, has been Zay Jones, and doesn't look too bad. It's Ronick says Blue Healer mix. No, she is a full-bred Great Pyrenees, my friend. I just give her a haircut because it's 100 degrees in Texas. Vadim says Underdog will be proud of that, Mason. Now, I'm not joking about this. That dog is laying under my desk for 99.999% of the day. She acts like we are glued together. So just know 99% of the time during the live stream, she's under the desk. It's hard to get her up from under the desk to come on, but if she's sitting down next to me, it's easier to hop her up. Okay. Now, after we go Hopkins, you have Hollywood Kirk, Deontay Johnson here in the middle of round 5 with Brandon Ayuk. So you have that wide receiver run. Obviously, if you looked at how ADP lined up, I mean, pretty much every best player available there, according to ADP, was wide receiver. So it's not a big surprise to see all these guys going, right? Colby says, Mason, are you still taking Jamar with Burrow being up? I'm Burrow's playing. I'm not worried about Burrow. I'm not worried about like whatever Jamar is saying. So, no, Joe Burrow, you can miss the first 5 weeks. We're chilling. That's not happening. Okay. Godwin goes 59. So we are in a pretty big wide receiver run. I mean, at this point, we have 7 wide receivers straight. Let's see if anybody bucks the trend here. You have Madison, Kittle, Lawrence and Sanders as non-wide receivers viable. Yeah, Tyler Lockett going 60. Yes, so you had a straight run of 8 wide receivers here. I really like our team. I feel like we have a well-balanced team. I really like grabbing that elite level quarterback. It was really hard to at the beginning of the offseason. I thought this was going to be the year where we couldn't draft elite level quarterbacks when they were going at the 1-2 turn. But now that we're still getting guys like Allen in the middle of round 3, I mean, that's going to be something I'm just so damn excited about. Okay. Colby asking if the rankings on the site aren't working. If the rankings are bugging out for you on flockfantasy.com, my friend, send a message in the Discord and we'll have one of the developers look at that immediately. I have not heard anything about the rankings not working on. I'll just go ahead and pull this up real quick. Flockfantasy.com. Rankings. Log in. Ooh, I know what's happening. Yeah, once a month, the devs have to do something on the back end to push the rankings up. So let me ping them real quick, and they will get them up. Usually whenever that happens, the rankings are just down like 5 seconds, and everybody spams the devs. They put them back up. But we're going to take Miles Sanders here at pick 68. I mean, I've actually drafted a lot of Miles Sanders now that he's fallen to round 6. Okay. Yeah, I texted the developers. The rankings should be back up on the site within minutes, most likely. Okay, Akers goes 71. Dobbins off the board as well. So what we're hoping for on a Josh Allen build is we're really hoping to get Gabe Davis on the way back around. Now, generally understand that we want to go ahead and get our stacks, but I'm trying to get a little greedy in these drafts, right? I mean, we're trying to have everything go our way. If you look at ADP, the reason why Gabe Davis generally goes there at the end of round 6 is because the Josh Allen team takes him. So if you're the Josh Allen team, sometimes you can instead take the falling value in like Miles Sanders and still get Gabriel Davis on the way back around at pick 77. Now, if it doesn't happen, I'm fine with it. We'll get Dotson. We'll get Kyle Pitts. I mean, I like a lot of these guys in this range. Joel says, when was the last year you did rankings on a spreadsheet? Last year, we had rankings on a spreadsheet. My man, flockfantasy.com is a new thing as of this season. We put so much freaking work into that bad boy, and I could not be more proud of it. Okay, Gabe Davis was 1 pick away from making it to us, ladies and gentlemen. That is very sad, so we are going to go ahead. Instead, we are going to get one of our most drafted players. We are going to take Dallas Goedert here, pick 77. It is what it is at the end of the day. I mean, it almost worked. We are right there, and hopefully it will work next time. Okay. Evan says, what's worse, not stacking or reaching to create a stack? Well, the thing is, they're both pretty bad, right? So I don't want to do either. I don't want to reach for a stack, and I don't want to miss a stack at the same time. But if you reach for a stack, you guarantee that you have one of those two outcomes. If you instead pass on the player and try to get him on the way back around, maybe you miss it, but you may also get it. You know what I mean? So we don't want to be in the position where we're reaching for stacks. We don't want to be in a position where we aren't getting our stacks, but I don't know. Now, most people you'll see will just go ahead and they'll just take Gabe Davis there in round 6. Because it does raise your floor, right? I mean, at least you get your stack. You don't look like an idiot on a live stream. But whenever I'm drafting in these drafts, I'm thinking it's a $5 buy-in. It's $200,000 for first place. Everything has to go right for us. So generally, I'm going to be drafting as if everything is going to go right in our draft. And the guy that we want to make it, the guy that we want to fall on the way back around, he does fall. The guy that we blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. I'm not going to reach just to make sure that we don't look like an idiot on the live stream. I would be fine looking like an idiot when it doesn't work out for us if it means that 25% of the time it works for us and we have a team that nobody else can match. Okay. Lasagna Lover says, risking your stack coming back around to you gives you a better chance for a huge ceiling. And that's exactly what I'm looking for, right? I mean, this is the Puppy Tournament, $5 buy-in, $200,000 prize pool. You definitely look a lot smarter if you just go ahead and you just take your stack and go, oh, got to get your stack. You know, like nobody's going to make fun of you for doing that, but it is what it is. I don't care. We're going to go ahead. We're going to take Isaiah Pacheco here, 92. Similar to Pollard, I think Pacheco actually kind of has to move up a bit with both Ezekiel Elliott as well as Dalvin Cook signing, because as it stands, he's a starting running back in Kansas City, and there are two possible free agents that are no longer a possibility. So I don't know. Now, IC says, what is the best strategy for a 10-team PPR with one flex? I have the 9th pick, and Bijan will probably drop to the 2nd round. If you have the 9th pick, you shouldn't even risk it. So if you have the 9th pick and then the 12th pick, just take him with the 9th. If it's a 10-team PPR format with only one flex, take Bijan Robinson. On the way back around, try to get Nick Chubb. I'll try to go RB out the gate if I were you, my friend. Now, Brandon says, should we use underdog positional rankings for ESPN 10-team leagues with this style format? Yes. I would say that because Underdog is the #1 draft platform in terms of the most amount of money being spent on these drafts. Like if you look at this, this is a tournament that launched yesterday. It has 53,000 entrants into it. Every single entrant is from someone that is over the age of 18 that has real money attached to it. Underdog updates this ADP every freaking day. I would say Underdog ADP is going to be the best ADP for you to use, but in your overall format, you don't want to be looking at the overall rankings because these overall rankings will be skewed because it's best ball on Underdog, but you do want to look at skill positional rankings for this. Like that would be the best tool that you could bring to your draft is looking at the skill positional rankings on Underdog for your main league. Don't be looking at like ESPN ADP or some garbage like that. Now, let's smooth this down. We're going to take Tua. Obviously, we're not taking another quarterback with Josh Allen whenever we have a regular team. But it is what it is. It is what it is. We have Waddle. We get Tua falling past ADP. I mean, the last draft, we saw Tua go round 7. Getting me around 10 to pair up with Waddle seems like a no-brainer. C-Town asking if Underdog has auction drafts. No, Underdog does not have auction drafts, my friend. They do not have auction drafts. And I'll say if you're going to be just playing in one fantasy football league, like you're just going to do one all year, I think auction would probably be the most fun format to play in. Now, the issue with auction drafts is you can never mock draft an auction draft. You could mock draft a regular fantasy football league because if someone leaves, say Rex Thunder here leaves at pick 11, right? This draft's going to go on still as normal, right? I mean, especially with Underdog ADP, with how good ADP is he's just going to take the guy at the very top of ADP, and it's not really going to mess up the draft at all. But in an auction draft, all of a sudden, if someone leaves, then you're in a position where there may just be 10% of the budget that's not being used. And the people who blew their money early are honestly probably it just skews everything. So you can't really mock draft for auctions. They take so long at the same time that auction drafts don't make a lot of sense to do with like a lot of volume, right? That's more like I'm going to do one a year. Okay. Now, Samaje Perine off 113. So yeah, it looks like you have a bunch of wide receivers falling here. Odell Beckham Jr. off 114. I have noticed Tyler Boyd falling in these drafts just a bit. Tyler Boyd goes. I'm actually probably going to reach on Juju Smith-Schuster here, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, if you are looking at Juju, this was a wide receiver that fell considerably in ADP once you had the rumors that DeAndre Hopkins was going over to New England. But once DeAndre Hopkins signed in Tennessee, Juju Smith-Schuster stayed down here at the 10-11 turn. So Juju wasn't really a player that I was drafting earlier on this offseason when he was going in around 9. But here at the end of round 10, the beginning of round 11, where he goes in a lot of these drafts, I'm actually fine getting this discount now on Juju Smith-Schuster. Okay. Lazard off the board at 118. You assume this team has to go wide receiver, right? I mean, they're currently sitting with Devonta Smith, Terry McLaurin. So they're going to be forced to slam wide receivers through the rest of this draft. The name is Trap Champs 02. Are they on auto? No, they're not on auto. Their last pick, they took David Njoku. I mean, like 8 picks before ADP. Yeah, they go Romeo Dobbs there to get their their third wide receiver. M. Hall, honestly, maybe in another position where they have to go wide receiver as well. They have Jefferson, Ridley, Pickens. So, honestly, probably a pretty damn good call for us to take Juju Smith-Schuster there, 116. He goes Bigsby instead, 120. Obviously, Bigsby looked pretty good in the preseason game. Tyler says, how many likes to get a Bulldog 2 draft going? We will get a Bulldog 2 draft going tomorrow night, my friend. I'll do a Bulldog 2 tomorrow night. Tonight would have been a little too aggressive for us. I wasn't planning it, wasn't mentally prepared. We also need to be a little bit more conservative of how we're spending this underdog money. So we will hop in draft in a bit. That team goes Aaron Rodgers is their second quarterback here. Warren goes 123. Are we going to get Dalton Kincaid to pair up with Josh Allen? Yes, you bet your butt we are. We're going to go Dalton Kincaid 125 to still get a Josh Allen stack. Now, obviously, with that being said, I mean, we're not sitting here jumping up and down saying, oh my gosh, yes, this team's awesome now. No, I still think that this team would have been better if we would have had Gabe Davis falling to us, say, at pick 77 instead of Dallas Goedert. But regardless, I do like the builds. I mean, we're going through, we have wide receiver, we have Kupp, Waddle, Hopkins, Juju Smith-Schuster. Quarterback, we have Allen and Tua. Running back, we have Mixon, Sanders, Pacheco. Tight end, we have Goddard as well as Dalton Kincaid. So I feel like this is a team that's very well balanced. It's a team that I do think has upside. Yeah, I like it overall. But let's move this over. And ladies and gentlemen, just in case you have not heard me 10 times by now say this, you better believe we're going to say it again. If you want to get into a draft with us today, tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day, I'm streaming every single day on Underdog Fantasy. You can find the link in the live chat in the description in the comment section. Promo code FLOCK. They're going to match first deposit dollar for dollar up to 100. Plus, you'll get our 2023 fantasy football rankings, a free trial to flockfantasy.com, where you can find our 2023 fantasy football draft guide. On top of this, I work my butt off to get y'all this. Everybody who signs up with promo code FLOCK, regardless of if that was 2 years ago or, I mean, hell, anytime before week 1, you are going to be getting a free Josh Allen pick'em line as well, more than less than half a passing yard. So I work my butt off to get y'all that. Please make sure you are taking advantage. And we're actually going to have multiple free pick'em lines this year for people who use promo code FLOCK on Underdog, which will be an exclusive thing. And like I said, I work my butt off to get you those lines. So please make sure you're taking advantage. Okay. And Wright says, how do you get the rankings after using the promo code? So Underdog is going to send you an email about 1 to 2 hours after you sign up. Maybe it'll be a little bit later than that, but about that point. And everything will be there with Underdog. You'll have access to everything there. If you don't see your Underdog email initially, check your spam and it'll show up there, my friend. Okay, now Greg Dulcich's off the board, 135. So we have a bunch of wide receivers making it to us, which honestly is something that we kind of like, right? I mean, we want to see quarterbacks go, and we have Allen and Tua. I still think we can take a third tight end, but we're probably going to do so at the very end of this draft. Like, I don't think we'd be doing so anytime soon with Goddard and Kincaid. This is the team that went with Kelsey Andrews out the gate. They got a strong value on Swift. They got Swift pick 90. They go Darnell Mooney. We cannot take Russ. We are just running back, wide receiver, tight end through the rest of this draft. Van Jefferson goes. Honestly, Van Jefferson was going to be the guy that we are looking at here. We'll go ahead and we'll take Rashee Rice. We'll get a piece of this Kansas City Chiefs offense while we still can. I mean, Van Jefferson would have been appealing since we already made the bet on the Rams being maybe better than people were expecting by taking Cooper Kupp. So we could double down by taking Van Jefferson here at the end of the 12th, but clearly it's not happening. So yeah, Michael says Rice, and y'all know, I mean, I've been on record. I think that if you look at the team investment into these wide receivers, if you look at the profiles of these guys as well, I think that the expected value for Rice, Sky Moore, and Kadarius Toney, I think that they are all very similar in terms of their probability of turning into the wide receiver one with this Chiefs team. So Rice has been my most drafted Chief so far this offseason. Now he's obviously more expensive than he was a month ago, but I'm still fine with him at his price tag. Okay, Osborne goes 144. Jordan Love 145. Great for us to see quarterbacks go, right? Chark 146. Interesting that these teams only have 3 RBs, so what do they decide to do? Yeah, this team only has Walker, Dobbins, Jamal. The best running backs available, though, are Gainwell, Monster. I guess maybe you push up Monster with the Dalvin and Zeke news. Or maybe they still go wide receiver. Maybe they still go tight end. I mean, they can do anything, of course. Okay, what is this team doing? They go tight end. So this is the dream situation for us when we take Rashee Rice there. We're going to go Rice, and we're going to get Marquez Valdez-Scantling on the way back around. So the big reason why we took Rice, because we just looked at the way that lined up. We were seeing if we could pair up 2 wide receiver teammates, where in these best ball drafts, we've shown that it's a good thing to be trying to pair up, say, a wide receiver 3 and a wide receiver 4 from the same offense, especially if that offense is one like the Kansas City Chiefs. If the Chiefs are at the top of the NFL in passing yards, which is possible, these picks could crush. Or if you were to see maybe a surprise where Toney isn't anything, or Sky Moore's not anything, or maybe even Kelsey gets injured in his age 34 season, there are a lot of outcomes that lead to both Rashee Rice and Marquez Valdez-Scantling crushing at the same time. So, I mean, honestly, getting both those picks there at pick 149, that's what makes this draft for us. And that's what makes me really excited about this team. Now, Ezekiel Elliott 150, strong value with Zeke. Honestly, we probably should be taking Zeke here. I need to start just queuing up Ezekiel Elliott in every single draft so I don't forget him. That's the thing. I just need to queue him up in every draft. Now, Gerald Everett, Sam Laporta, both off the board. What's the report on Kmet? I had another draft where Kmet fell considerably. So the report on Kmet looks like he doesn't really matter. Interesting to see Kmet falling here as well. I mean, generally, I really like Cole Kmet at this price tag. I mean, honestly, if Cole Kmet were to fall to us, I would go ahead and take him. Miller's someone that is falling as well, but in the case of Miller, it makes a lot of sense for him to be falling given the sprained knee. We cannot go quarterback no matter what. Kyler Murray's not in play. We were just running back, wide receiver, tight end. Irv Smith Jr. goes 161. There are 2 guys that I want. Two players that I'm looking at here. That team went, oh my gosh. I think maybe it was an auto pick. It's a horrendous pick no matter what. I mean, obviously, like I was saying, Kmet's a great value, and I was wanting Kmet, so maybe I'm just a little tilted. But that team had Kelsey and Mark Andrews. If you draft Kelsey and Mark Andrews and you take a 3rd tight end, I'm sorry to say it, but that's just a horrendous draft pick. They could very easily be on auto draft, though. I mean, the past 5 picks of theirs have been guys that have fallen based off ADP. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take Devin Singletary. I mean, I like Singletary that he's in a backfield where we know the depth chart. And at the same time, we don't have to be worried about a situation like Miller, right, where he is dealing with a sprained knee, yada, yada, yada. But, yeah, wide receiver, we now have Kupp, Waddle, Hopkins, Juju Smith-Schuster, Rashee Rice, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Quarterback, we have Allen stacked with Dalton Kincaid. We have Tua stacked with Jalen Waddle. Running back, we have Mixon, Miles Sanders, Isaiah Pacheco, Devin Singletary. And tight end, we have Dallas Goedert and Dalton Kincaid. Mike says, anyone know if I can continue in a slow draft if I travel to a state where Underdog is not? Yeah, so if you enter in a state such as Texas where there is Underdog, right? or California where there is Underdog. But then you drive into Nevada, and Nevada does not have Underdog. You can still draft any of the teams that you have. You just can't enter into another contest. So if you're in a state that doesn't have Underdog and you go to hit enter, then it's going to say Underdog draft's not available in your state. Now, Spears 165. Now, if Miller were to make it to us at 173, then at that point, maybe we have to end up considering him. Like I said, we are not going quarterback. We can't really go quarterback here when we have Allen and Tua. Al says you also can't deposit money. So I guess you also cannot deposit money if you're in a state that does not have Underdog. But I mean, you shouldn't want to deposit money in a state that doesn't have Underdog. It's like, oh, I got to prepare myself for tomorrow when I'm back in a state with Underdogs. So let me make sure. You should be fine regardless. Now you have Kyler going, okay, actually wide receivers in play. Why did I check them off? Okay. Jackson says, wow, so I'm about to drive to Canada from Washington and start 17 slow drafts. What's actually funny is there are a bunch of people who do this. Fantasy Stock Exchange, our creators that we have on flockfantasy.com, they're partnered by Underdog as well, and they're in Ontario, and they go down to Buffalo, New York, and they spam enter Underdog slow drafts. Like they'll be on like 75 Underdog slow drafts, and they'll go back up to Ontario. Which I don't know if I should be promoting that, so please. If I shouldn't be, ignore me. I think we're actually going to take Donovan Peoples-Jones here. I mean, he falls 10 picks past ADP. I don't really see why. I mean, he's in a very good offense with Deshaun Watson. He gave us some spike weeks last year. Let's go ahead. Let's take him. I can't necessarily guarantee that this works out, but we'll see. We'll see, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So let me move this down. And Zamir White, like I said, is someone that I have to start drafting where I wasn't previously. I wasn't taking Zamir White previously, but the Raiders going out there and trying to tell Josh Jacobs, yeah, man, we're good if you don't play. Yeah, White. I mean, they gave White a workload this last preseason game. Something worth at least looking at. Okay. Miller finally off the board at 175. So, yeah, that team is probably just on auto draft here. And that's why they went with the third one. I mean, third tight end, that is. Kareem Hunt, 177. Jeff Wilson, 178. Russian Collusion, longtime member of the Flock, says, Mason, thoughts on team one? Let's go ahead and let's check out this team at one. One, Jefferson, Ridley, Jacobs out the gate. I think you are sacrificing some median projection here, but to be fair, I mean, you are having a unique build, which is possibly what you were going for. Aaron Jones, 48. Personally, I'm going Kenneth Walker over Aaron Jones, but that's just me. Hawkinson, 49. I really like pairing up with Jefferson. Pickens, Javonte, I like. Khalil Herbert, 96. I mean, is a little bit rich. Was drafting the hell out of Khalil Herbert previously. This price point, I don't necessarily know if I'm going to be too excited about that. Kirk Cousins, I think you can honestly get Kirk Cousins and making it to you on the way back around at the 10-11 turn, my friend. So what I would probably do instead is I would go with whoever you perceive to be the best value at 97 and see if we can get Cousins all the way back at pick 120. So that would get Love to pair with the Packers guys. Yeah, I like the team. There's just a few notes that we have, my friend. A few things. But Mayer goes and let's swing this back around. So we are looking at primarily running back and tight end here. Now, I don't really know if we've drafted any Gus Edwards, if I'm going to be honest with you. But possibly we need to be pushing up Gus Edwards. Based off what we have in terms of Sorry, we're not even going to go that way. We are going to instead go Hunter Henry. Sorry, I was saying based off the other running back signing, even if J.K. Dobbins back in practice, blah, blah, blah. But we will go Henry. We'll take another shot on this New England Patriots offense. I think Henry does need to be moved up with the Mike Gesicki injury. We'll have our third tight end, and we're most likely going to be looking to go running back on the way back around. But if you look at the teams after us, all of them have 5 to 6 running backs as is. So I thought there was a better shot that we were going to get the running back that we wanted on the way back around 17 than tight end. But ladies and gentlemen, my girlfriend just walked the door. So we are going to cut this live stream here, and we are going to fire up another one tomorrow night. So of course, if you want to get into our draft tomorrow night, the next night, the next night, the next night, I'm doing this every single day. Find the link to Underdog Fantasy in the live chat in the description in the comment section. Promo code FLOCK, the match first deposit, dollar for dollar, up to $100. You'll also get our 2023 fantasy football rankings. Get a free trial to flockfantasy.com where you can find our 2023 fantasy football draft guide. Plus, promo code FLOCK only. You're going to be getting the free Josh Allen pick'em line week 1, ladies and gentlemen, that I worked my butt off to get y'all. So please make sure you're taking advantage of that. But thank you. Really do appreciate y'all, and really hope that I get to see you out with the live stream tomorrow night.